So it's 10:46 a.m. Dutch time, 22nd of December 2019 by the Gregorian calendar. And would you like to listen further as we do this morning puja, sharing ideas, talking, and let's see if this will be sent eventually on the virtual network, the virtual physical network, as we are walking together again in one, maybe our last walks, this Dauven to Arnhem, where the first shop in Arnhem was established of Vaidono meditation. And there are messages to bring out as Mocha. The messages to be brought out even for the sake of the physical health. Yeah. The thought that seemed to trigger this was talking about the changing monetary system, and the sense that as I'm walking here now, all this I own. Yeah, there is a changing thought waves, brain waves you might want to call it, that associated and been filtered through me regarding survival on the material plane. That as now I'm interpreting in hindsight what has occurred to me or has been occurring to me, and my approach to the material world, and I'm starting to unveil it, to cover it, to tell a story in different ways, because the story is mixed and has different filters that sometimes slide towards Human Design Language, which is a phenomenal newspaper. A lot of knowings came through that, and there are things that are simply coming on this filter who I am, as I see that there is something that is changing on the material plane, as always, but generally with finances, and I'm here to address that partially, this ownership and bargain, and what I see that is like how we approach finance is dissolving itself. Yeah, these coins. This measurement of how many euros I have in my bank account. Yeah, this ego, this is message partially from the ego, although it can be sensed that it is not my conscious I that speaks, and I relate it sometimes to Human Design Language, that my body actually speaks now, and my conscious personality has to simply play along and observe this, as this brings the physical health to my bodily system. Same as we are pressured to go to pee when we have urine in our bladder, and or same as other excretions. Yeah, mouth is also an excretion of. We do this through words. It's related to thyroid gland. I can talk about physiologic, about the pituitary gland in my case. So it's coming from different angles as I'm actually talking my messages to myself, but to you. And most of my messages the past, let's say 10 month or 9 month pregnancy, I've been recording to myself, many. And also in my thoughts, but also when I open my mouth into the recording machine to put it in the physical plane, so my conscious mind would hear what the unconscious body speaks, or what the unconscious mind body. Oh, it will involve certain terms that I'll elaborate in due time, as I am using the Human Design filter, and I see how it operates in my body as this thought that triggers this sharing. This message was related to, there is something around me through money that I see gets people tensed up, and the changes, and we have, we don't, we have, we don't. And there's something with me as, for example, I walk now on the streets and I feel I own this street, yeah? But not in the thought that people interpret as a meaning, now I will drill a hole or build my house. Not this old bargain, like, you know, I see this, the house where I'm paying 25 euros a night, and I own the house. It's a sensation that is inside, an interpretation of experience. We're moving towards this realization of ownership, yeah? And it's very different than this is my bank account, or I will decide what to do with my house. Because people will say, and they do, it's not your house, you just pay rent, and it's, you cannot break a wall or renovate, and you know, or when I even take a car from someone and I feel it's my car, it's my domain. So it's kind of opening the perspective about ownership, because this has been the bargain for the past human design language, which I bring past 400 years. Ego dominated, ego, emotional, mine. You know, I work for you, you pay me, I earn for you, you give me your this and that, you know. All the employer-employee exchange, and my bank account, and if I don't have money in my all these ego things that are in global consciousness, human design language, explanation, newspaper, they are dissolving. Yeah, 2027 in this story, this will be the dominant energy, changing to spirit and sexuality that is different on a role model basis, which is very innocent and like, hey, I own this world, but not the sensation that ownership, this word, or has its connotation for the past 400 years. This is my house, this is my country, this is my body, this is my land, this is my bank account, this is my partner, this is my name. It's a very different energy that's operating at hand. And it is already challenging for people to see these fluctuations happening, this wave, this movement, as things that related to mind, to ego, are being shattered. Yeah? And the backlash is against it. The ones who have more on the small ego is like, okay, bad guy perhaps. For some people. And you can see it in collective measures as, oh, this 0.00001% who have control the material of the rest. That's a very narrow, I would call it a bit of a false conception. It's not. It's just part of the forces operate. And I realize it through my microcosm that I just stand, I walk here, and he's saying that this world was created for me and me for it. But since there is a deep fear within us about where will I sleep in where will I put my body at the end of the day, how will I feed my kids, many other thoughts that are very common to hear. You know? At just different places they have different taste or different fragrance. And the thought of interpreting my places, I moved through houses where I was paying rent, but I had the story, the sensation, the interpretation that I own that place. And it doesn't imply on the actions. It doesn't mean I will now sell that to another. No, but ownership is a sense. And once you realize what actually you own, secret, you don't own anything, okay? Then, okay, You start first to become healthy. When you realize you don't own anything, you start to become healthy. Now we can start put the layers on what we actually own. Yeah? But from the axiom, from the foundation of I don't own anything, you don't own anything, we don't own anything. If this axiom is not accepted by you, this agreement, well, you can go on further listening, but it wouldn't serve you, because the rest of the thoughts are based on this foundation, that you don't own anything. Yeah? Because the thought that you do own something gets you to try to act in the vanity that you do own, you do need to do something about it, in the vanity of this, what's called an ego or a small self, and there's no problem. It has its layers and manifestations in the world, and it serves human design language. I like to use it to borrow these terms for the necessary message. It serves our health system as a human tribe. Yeah, as a human tribe, we this way or the other, some of us also agreement in language that we have an ego. Doesn't matter that, you see, we keep dividing ourselves. So male, female, then this family, that family, this tribe, that tribe, this land, that land, this language, yeah, nations. This is breaking down. It will still have its deep impact, but through a very different layer. And I'm not going now yet to talk about selfishness, soulmates. Yeah, the soulmate that is selfishness, which is partially you. Yeah. Because my conscious mind has to follow the unconscious mind of the body. That just speaks a message to you, to me, to us. And that supports, first of all, my body. My body. Yeah, as I'm bound to, now, I'm bound to, as I mentioned, to go and pee when the urine bladder gets filled, or go to the toilet for other purposes, or use the, let's say, as to create children, for that matter, you know. We have accumulation of energy that has to flow somewhere. Yeah, because you might contain and maintain it and see that it's just yeah, you'll take the experience of it, but basically the thought here is from this beginning of axiom that you don't own anything. And those who will not surrender to this axiom, I believe, will have a challenging, healthy times. Yeah, they will have a challenging, healthy times, physical, mental, emotional. And it doesn't mean that on a certain surface you will not have this house where you go and you have a paper where it's written, maybe in a rent contract, or maybe in you purchased it from the government, you know. Because we have a bargain that is laid out for a couple of hundred of years, and it's based on establishing some trust in an entity that is falling apart. And like any trend, financial trend, those who will not and will not recognize this trend will just have their hard time, even physically, health-wise, on the material plane. And it's related to our ego, thymus glands, and the T cells, and our ego immune system, which is, again, also, this is not going to be the energy. It's just the energy that's flowing through me, yeah, when my small self, my ego material speaks about some kind of message. And I was told by several people that I'm here to transmit the message. And they keep telling me again and again, and I'm not the only one, there are others. I just can recognize the trends that I recognize. As I term the coin of pay attention. Are you paying attention? Pay attention. And people try to pay me with fruits, or with a hug, or with making a tea, or with €1 or 9,000 euros, or giving me a house. And this bargain that was established for a couple of hundred years in the story is shattering itself, collapsing into itself, because it was meant to hold something in our consciousness move. And very few people in the beginning will be aware of it. It will take time, like only now we are aware of something. It will take time also for the global consciousness of humanity, yeah? Global consciousness, let's say if I anthropomorphize it, knows that. And the thing is, it doesn't matter. It only takes its toll on humans with the vanity of controlling life. That's all. That they own their house, or they own their life, or they are in control. The ones who don't, yes, they can speak and help move in that. And so this thought, as I mentioned, comes from the grounds of me sensing my own microcosm of, hey, I own this world. It was created for me. Yeah? God created man. But not with the vanity of me choosing what I do, me observing the creation. Yeah? And seeing it manifest how it manifests. Not how I think it should be, no how I dream that to be, no how I, yeah? And it's okay that there are people contradicting me. It's no problem. Part of our game. Yeah? And me contradicting you, or sometimes agreeing. Yeah? So you might believe or think or feel or sense or know, I'm actually in control. When I'm aligning my thoughts, I'm bringing this and that. And okay, no problem. I might join this ride for a moment. Yeah? But this thought that I'm aware that they're just flowing through me as creation, and what then some channelers or they start talking about it. Take control of your life, clean your thoughts, do this. Well, I'm just bringing a language that I agree with. Yeah? I'm still bound in using this thing, I agree, I speak. But it's not really. Yeah? And it's got to do to the axiom that we don't own anything. What the eye can see, what the you has hidden from me. What the eye can see, what the you has hidden from we. And not many people will recognize this trend. Most people, really in general, especially in Western countries, but now again, because Western globalization has reached worldwide, the material welfare of the West is penetrated, has done its thing to reach other places, yeah? Things were developed in the West and moved to the East, and then it's just energies. It doesn't matter. Nothing is better than the other. It all serves a nice consciousness program. It plays with us humans. And it's partially in the roots of East. So yeah, West allows us to let's say if I generalize, separate in the duality West and East. Yeah, West allows us all this material, money. They conquer, they this, Europe, United States, and so on. That this material abundance that was founded on a relative democracy. A relative democracy. And And that allowed for global consciousness now to be flowing on the virtual physical plane, which we might call internet. Then trying to humans are trying to imitate nature. Humans are trying constantly to imitate nature. So once we realize we have for example, an eye that captures an image, we try and create a camera. We try to manifest this concept of an eye filming things in a we try what the Creator has done. We might call it God, we might call it consciousness, we might call it anything that is not that thing. Because once we manifest it as humans, it takes taken the form of humans, its limitation. And so same thing as with anything we try to manifest. We try to imitate that thing that is beyond us, but stream through us. And God created man. So we try to show that we're part of the creation by creating what God created or consciousness created through us. Now we've got this phenomenal tool up to where we reach with science, and we haven't hit the foundation of science. Wait about 200 years. Now we're still trying this, that, Then it will also disappear and another layer of consciousness will appear. And this axiom of we are not owning anything, it has some meaning. We have the vanity for many human beings to assume or believe or think that we are in control of what we do. It's part of the game of consciousness, or God, if you like. And we're also here to tell that story. As we see, there are many things we cannot explain. So it relates to many realms that man in the story of the Bible, maybe Old Testament you want to call it, that God created it, and it started giving names to animals, plants, the seas and the stars, and then continued the illusion of God's work. The illusion of God's work. Now many humans are caught on the let's call it mundane physical level, survival level, due to this vanity, which is also described in Excelestius in Kohelet by King Solomon, Melech Shlomo, vanity, 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 Hevel Avalim. And we are bound to live within this framework. And the West, as I call it West because it was attributed to be established through somewhere in the United States, perhaps, that was very wealthy with physical material and also minds and stuff. But there I will go to the East in a moment, India and China, and another realm, maybe Japan or. But the West, so in my analogy to the camera, to try to portray the nature of the eye of the human with catches frames and put it in a limited object called camera, which we try to improve, in our cell phones, and let's take the mouth we have and the ear we have, and let's create a machine that we can use our mouth and our ears and even our eyes and also our hand, all the senses to use, so this cell phone, a limited object, yeah? Everyone who has been connected to the, let's say, energetical planes, there is physical, let's say, mental, and spirit, and it's just language. It's neither of that. I don't want to say you have to understand, but whenever we put things in language, that's it. It's gone. It's out of the creation. It's out. It's out. It's like a child born. It's not the creation itself anymore. It's gone. And most of us humans, we don't realize it. And we keep in our loop, in our own circle of talking about it, because that's what we do as humans. And not to imply the actions that we're here to be silent. Yeah? Just to show a phenomena. And we do it in different sounds. That's why some sages were like, I'll shut up. No need to talk anymore. Yeah? I've grasped the powers of the world, the truth of the world. No need to talk about it anymore. And most of them did talk. Yeah. It's a funny. Though the one who doesn't speak does not exist. Yeah? The one who does not have a name does not exist. And yeah. You shall not take the name of God in vain, or Jewish, well, lots of things. So in the internet network, the same as with the example of the camera, human minds tries to imitate our virtual network of connection, of energies that we communicate anyway. And we try to put it in our visual spectrum and in our acoustic spectrum. Yeah? Clearly you're behind a computer, you cannot, limit of touch. Limit, quote unquote. Or smell. Some limitations which we try to quote unquote overcome as we try to imitate nature. Yeah? So the virtual network is actually a very physical one. It's not the virtual network that actually exists and is known to those who know it deeply. And what you cannot speak about. Because once you speak about it, it will be different. It will start to be interpreted and be manipulated as energy. And no other way. It's just how things operate. So the West has tried to create the image of this virtual network that as human beings we are most aware of it. This word, I thought of you, and then I will also call you and tell you I thought of you and how are you, and make all of these YouTube videos and Facebooks and Googles and search this knowledge, which we already know, we know. But we also want to know what the other knows, or thinks, or believes, or sounds, or is, how does he look? Now, there's no meaning in that except that it is being talked in different languages, different products that we talk about it in different variations. Yeah? That's what we do as humans, different variations to the same thing. One and the same. Same but different, or different but same. And I'm no different in that. As I'm being asked by several forces to take out what I interpret as this life. Reality, illusion, energy. When I read these terms of how humans describe it, I realize they are locked. I realized I am locked. And I accept it. I have no expectations that I will be any different. That I will be just silent and no existing, or that I will talk and you understand me. Yeah? It's just part of who we are and how it operates as us in what we identify as human form. So there's no, just like I was told, and let's say, enjoy the ride. Enjoy meaning be aware. You know, be aware of the ride. Doesn't mean, you know, I have to, when I drink, I have to pee, biological form. Maybe I don't, you know. Also possible. I will talk about it one time. Once you are ready for your body to involute and even explode when death will arrive, you realize a lot of traits that the body is capable, which you had no clue it is capable. Body is part of creation, yeah? And it's related also to the fear of death and pain, avoiding pain and stuff like that, which is demonstrated in many ways. So the West has created this virtual funny network, which they call virtual, World Wide Web, yeah? And if you turn the www upside down, you get whatever this we can play games with this as this internet world is standing upside down. And I remind you, there's no meaning in all of that. I'm doing it because I have to pee. Yeah, part of me when I speak feels healthier. And I can relate it to the pituitary gland and to the thyroid gland, and there is sometimes a pressure to speak, and to the thymus gland and the immune system, and that I interpret from my small ego that when I speak something happens and it feels, relieved. And a lot of pressure is accumulated on the systems, on the endocrine system. Same as when but I have to pee, really. Yeah, and I'm not going to hold it. So I'm also with the talk. And once you wait, you see there are more and more people who are waiting as I'm talking to some of you, because once we have a resource, abundant of it, it will have to flow somewhere. So we put it in books, and we put it in YouTube videos, and we put it in... Now I mainly put it for my own sake, because everyone hears that even before I speak that. It was clear to me in the experience of my first... I took 3 times mushrooms, which my memory says, the thing that happened following that thing that I ate caused that phenomena. And the first time it was clear that someone has a script for all of us. And it's not new. Many of us have this thought. Yeah? And I'm just here to partially give this message as I'm told. And this is part of the duty, you know. We are incarnated and we tell the story of incarnation and form for a reason, for having a reason, for differentiating ourselves from animals, from plants, from inanimate objects. It's just a game, you know, we're no different than them. Yeah, we're not. We just play the game like we are different, because whatever phenomena goes, we are aware of it and we talk to us, but we are the ones who are manufacturing cars or planting trees or yeah. But just try to hold your breath endlessly, and then you can see if you're in control of anything. Yeah. Ready? So whenever you have a vanity that you're in control, just hold your breath. Yeah, use your control mechanism and see how long. Or try to keep yourself awake, not going to sleep. Nothing, no more sleep in your life. Then see if you have control of your life. Or try not to eat or not to drink anymore. See if you have control in your life. You use control mechanism, right? The sense of I, axiom. You don't own anything. You don't own your body. You think you control it because you're still gained like some funny half-autonomic, semi-autonomic systems. And I enjoy these sounds, you know. I learn from the babies. I'm being transmitted by babies. They tell me the story. I go to their language and I repeat it, and I learn from them and from their eyes and what they say. Then I go to the adult realm with illusion of refined language, axioms, ego, beautiful, English language, Dutch, Hindi, all these funny sounds that your ears interpret because you've heard it repeatedly, and then oh, I get something here, and it does something to my body in this. Yeah, we are definitely a funny creature, human beings. And what to do? I'm limited in this form, and in this story it seems I am still human. In a while I haven't talked in this, it hasn't been talking through me like that, my interpretation. Maybe it's time again. Maybe not. It is mainly for me to see, and that the conscious mind will believe perhaps that, or be convinced that, hey, there is some force still operating within us. We know the rules of the world, the laws of the world, and once we'll meet human on the physical plane, we will tell what we have to say, so we can all be patient. We don't own anything, we can just keep on watching, and when we step out of our queue, we step out of our queue, it's okay. Can always go back, dear child consciousness, sit and observe all that is happening. And there will be the ones who will wish to drink from this pituitary gland to get us humans healthy. Yeah, it's part of the endocrine system, and we'll use the thyroid gland of mine because it's necessary to do its tricks, and the thymus gland, and the splenic messages, and the brain waves, and the rest of the story, which is nicely newspapered in human design knowing, which I sometimes use on top of the English. And silence does, in a way, collapses it all. And sometimes I'm stepping out of the queue and asking humans to help the one who is not human, which is pretty funny thing. It's really a pretty funny thing to observe. And what to do? These are just the forces, how they operate. And we are supporting each other because that's how, Earth supports me, I support the Earth, and vice versa. Nice consciousness program. And the stories, just be patient with them. Just stay in your queue, your time will come. They will come. Wait for the humans to meet the no human. Wait for it. No need to chase anything. No need to step out of the queue. Stay in your queue, your time will come. Zero expectation, 100% acceptance. And accept that when you step out of the queue, you recognize you step out of the queue. And when you return to the queue, you return to the queue. This is just an operation talking from what might be described that, I've got this consistent pituitary gland, and for the sake of my health, sometimes the connection to the thyroid and the thymus and the immune system and the adrenaline system and the liver, they all got to do their job and speak. Even take out, extract words out of my mouth in sounds. Otherwise it's, haven't tried what's going to be otherwise on a year, 2, 3 year basis. Yeah, maybe one day, or 1 year, or 2, 3 years. So stay in your queue, your time will come. Zero expectation, 100% acceptance. Keep on walking your path. Remember that conscious mind. This is a reminder. When you're impatient, it's okay. It's okay. Keep on walking your path. Watch, observe. Wherever you are. You talk, you observe. You've got still the attachment to talk to people and contacting this and that and not waiting for people to come to you. No problem. It is what it is. Yeah? You still get caught in the passion to talk, and now you cannot be silent. Watch it. Part of the game, part of the lila, no problem. Nothing's good, nothing's bad. And no risk, no game. We're incarnated, we're in human form. Yeah? We have the risk of being alive, being hurt, in pain, being misunderstood and understood, and known and not known, and loved and hated, and no risk, no game. Yeah? And that's part of the incarnation game. No risk, no game. And yeah, you might have your own style of like, oh, the suffering human, da da da, yeah. Yeah, we're granted this limitation of a human form. A great thing. He does what he does. I still have to pee when I have to pee, and I will talk when it's time or I have to talk. Life decides, and I will still judge that I talked and I stepped out of the queue and it was just things happening. So no risk, no game. And even if you jump from a mountain, you will break your leg. Even Jesus or Buddha. So yeah, remember the queue where we started, where it's recognize your duty. Just see it happening. Don't imagine there is something else to do. Like, and I do it. I imagine there is something else, and I judge that I didn't do the right thing at that moment, and it's all washed. And I judge you that you didn't do what you should have done, or it's all just part of the game. It doesn't really matter. And if sometimes I jump from a mountain, I will break my leg. I will be in pain. Even Jesus had it. And Buddha was not understood by everybody. Yeah, people accused him. He had all of his, and he played his part, his role in the global consciousness program. And Jesus, let them, those who have eyes see and those who have ears hear, and so on and so forth. And then crucified, no problem. 3 days waiting. Reincarnation, resurrection, story. Yeah, doesn't matter really. Even if you jump from a mountain, you will break your leg. Even Jesus and Buddha. And sometimes you do jump on the mountain, and sometimes you do break your leg, and you feel the resistance. Yeah. Even if you're Jesus or Buddha, it's just part of the game. Jesus was preparing his disciples. I'm gonna break my leg, my bone, I'm gonna cruise, I'm gonna die, no problem. Just wait a couple of days, incarnation, resurrection. Buddha said, don't be worried, we're liberated, we're gone out of this body, You'll be identified next time with another body, and the story goes. Yeah. So there's also no problem, it's nothing good or bad. You see yourself jumping from a mountain, breaking your leg, you have resistance. Remember that even Buddha and Jesus, they had theirs, they can also break their legs. You're incarnated in a body, you're incarnated in a body. You want to be released, you die from this material body, but it's not the purpose of incarnation to have, and we do. Like humans, we are playing part of this role, but even humans, what we call commit suicide, but it's just part of the plan. To experience what it is that I'm in charge of my life, and then I kill myself. Yeah. I don't believe it. Well, those who experience it might tell what it needs. Maybe they tell it through me. Maybe part of my past karmas committed suicide. It doesn't matter. We're just playing like a nice experience, and we experience whatever creation is offering, including taking our lives. Yeah, including exploding in the markets with a bomb around our waist, including making love to our partner, or feeding our children, or seeing a TV show. It doesn't matter what you do, it's just part of the karma. Just part of the thing we name perhaps karma, it's not that. And it's a nice story that I told you this morning. And back in the queue, and it's a nice puja. It might go in the virtual physical to Guruji, Mataji, to Harmke, to Zera, to some of these listeners out there. Maybe not. Maybe I'll keep this time in the patience of not sending it. I don't know yet. Still recording, still talking. As soon we're arriving to Dauven, and the journey continues. Yeah, till death do us part. Till death do us part, dear body and mind. Then death will do us part, will separate us, and it's really and certainly in a live game. And it's interesting to recognize where people have no idea what I'm talking about. And some do. Some say beautiful, carry on. So I don't understand. I don't, you know what to do. No risk, no gain. So this is also a message from you as we travel through bus stops or train stops in this train of consciousness and train of thoughts, as we say. No goal in that, no where to go, just a story, and anything we can just dive into it. We can be silent, we can play along, we can talk about the ego and the trends and many things. Whatever you will actually bring, whatever is still disturbing you. And there is, like there are things disturbing my conscious mind. And it's okay, fluctuation is there, and soon we will die because we are incarnated. Then there'll be another movement. But now we're alive, so we can enjoy the stagnation of actually being alive, imagining that there is a movement while we're actually dying. So even enjoy this stagnation, you know, this degeneration. It's only clock counting backwards. Yeah, only clock. You know, you wish happy birthday closer to your, to your sand clock, eliminating it. So it's time in this role as an incarnation. And once you just see yourself, whatever's happening, it's just you see yourself what is happening. There's no difference between anything. Self-realized path, awake, not, nothing. You realize it once you realize it, and then you might teach it, but there's nothing. It's you walk, you talk, you're aware. It doesn't matter. That's the funny matter. That's the maybe ring pass not, or it's a funny game, really. Humans, funny game.